Hello everyone. Welcome back to our channel, Canada Immigration. We hope you're doing great. In this video, we will talk about 3 new Canada immigration policies still have these loopholes. As Canada continues to refine its immigration policies to address evolving needs and challenges, recent updates have brought significant changes to the landscape. However, despite these strides, some of the new policies still reveal notable loopholes that could impact applicants and the overall effectiveness of the system. In this article, we'll explore 3 new Canadian immigration policies, examining their intended benefits and the critical gaps that remain. Understanding these loopholes is crucial for prospective immigrants and stakeholders aiming to navigate the Canadian immigration system effectively. If you are interested in this topic, to get all the information, pay attention and watch the video through to the end. Please hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to push the notification bell for an upcoming video. So, without any further delay, let's jump into the video. The Canadian government has unveiled a series of immigration policy changes that are intended to curb the growing population of temporary residents and tackle the systemic abuse of Canada's immigration system since August 26. However, these measures, introduced under the leadership of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, have been met with criticism for their perceived loopholes and not being well planned, with only addressing the issue fractionally. These criticisms are especially indicating potential political motivations, particularly as Canada inches closer to the 2025 federal election. The government's approach raises questions about whether these policies are genuinely aimed at reform or are simply a means to placate concerns without implementing meaningful change. New immigration reforms announced between August 26 and 28 will only impact the tail of the elephant in the room and will create even more complexities. It seems that these steps were not thoughtfully taken and devised only in anticipation of Canadians wanting to hear something big from Liberals on the immigration front. In this article, we enlist ground-level effect and criticism of all the 3 new immigration policies announced by the Canadian government in the last 3 to 4 days that have enticed many, but the effect is only fractional. We might get under fire from various groups for posting this, but this is the real reporting needed for the betterment of Canadian immigration as well as future aspirants. Freeze on low-wage LMIAs, a superficial solution. One of the most prominent changes announced on August 26 is a freeze on labor market impact assessments for low-wage streams in census metropolitan areas where the unemployment rate is below 6%. The government has framed this move as a decisive step towards reducing the number of low-wage temporary foreign workers in Canada and abuse of the system. However, if we zoom in, it reveals that this policy may be more of a superficial solution than a genuine effort to address the issue. The policy includes several significant exceptions, allowing employers in sectors deemed critical to the Canadian economy, such as primary agriculture, food processing, fish processing, construction, and healthcare, to continue applying for low-wage LMIAs. While these sectors are indeed vital, the broad exemptions undermine the policy's effectiveness, allowing a large number of LMIA applications to proceed as usual. This effectively dilutes the intended impact of the freeze. Moreover, the policy fails to address the core issue of LMIA abuse. For years, many employers have exploited the LMIA system by advertising job openings merely as a formality, without any genuine intent to hire local workers. In CMAs where unemployment rates exceed 6%, employers can still apply for LMIAs, potentially under high-wage streams or by exploiting the exemptions. The absence of measures to review previously issued LMIAs or impose stricter penalties on employers who abuse the system suggests that the government is not fully committed to curbing these practices. The government should have put in place a temporary freeze on employers who have already applied or advertised or were approved only under the low-wage stream so far, since such employers know the system. Furthermore, the penalty amount and closure of such businesses should also be among the harsh punishments for someone found misusing the system. The unintended consequence of this policy could be a surge in the black market price of LMIAs. As the demand for legitimate LMIAs increases due to the freeze, unscrupulous employers exempt under this new policy may take advantage of the situation by charging higher fees to temporary foreign workers who are desperate to secure employment in Canada. This, in turn, perpetuates the cycle of exploitation and undermines the very goals the policy is supposed to achieve. New work permit extension policy released silently. On August 27, just a day after announcing the LMIA freeze, Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada quietly introduced a temporary policy that grants open work permits to eligible foreign nationals. This policy targets individuals who have an employment offer, a valid work permit, or a work permit that expired as of May 7, 2024, and possess a support letter from a provincial nominee program indicating their placement in an expression of interest pool. At first glance, this policy appears to be a positive development, offering relief to foreign nationals who are already in Canada and contributing to the economy. However, the policy also creates new opportunities for exploitation, particularly given the lax requirements surrounding employment offers, and it is simple for dishonest employers and foreign nationals looking to protect their status to take advantage of it. The catch is that there is not even a need for an LMIA. This reform creates a loophole that unscrupulous employers can exploit, allowing them to sell job offers directly to foreign workers without the need for a formal LMIA process. This not only undermines the integrity of the immigration system but also puts vulnerable workers at risk of exploitation. The reliance on provincial nominee programs further complicates matters. Many PNPs require a job offer as part of their selection criteria, and with the new policy in place, there is a risk that employers may engage in backdoor dealings to secure these offers. The government's decision to quietly implement this policy on August 11, 2024, without a public announcement until later on August 27, after an anti-immigration announcement, raises questions about the transparency and intent behind this move. It suggests a strategy of closing one door while opening another, perhaps to appease powerful employer lobbies without truly addressing the issues at hand. The government should add a requirement that job offers must be backed by an LMIA and not in a low-wage stream, ending the visitor-to-work permit policy. The third major change in recent weeks was the termination of the temporary public policy that allowed visitors in Canada to apply for work permits from within the country. Initially introduced during the COVID-19 pandemic, this policy was a pragmatic response to the challenges employers faced in accessing temporary workers from outside Canada. It provided a pool of workers already in the country, helping to fill labor shortages during a critical period. However, the policy was extended multiple times, most recently in February 2023, well beyond its original intent. The prolonged extension of this policy led to an influx of visitors entering Canada with the expectation that they could easily convert their status to a work permit. Many people view the government's decision to end the policy on August 28, 2024, as being long overdue. For instance, visitors can still get an LMIA and apply for a work permit by engaging in a process known as flagpole, where they travel to the Canada-US border to change their status. For instance, visitors can still get an LMIA and apply for a work permit by engaging in a process known as flagpole, where they travel to the Canada-US border to change their status. This workaround effectively renders the policy's termination moot, as visitors continue to find ways to obtain work permits without leaving Canada. The government's failure to address this issue reflects a broader trend of half measures and missed opportunities in its immigration policy. While a fraction of visitor visa applicants might now feel to avoid applying, there are still many too advised to do flagpole. The government should have also ended the flagpole for this purpose to make this measure effective, as they did for post-graduation work permits. Conclusion: the need for genuine reform. The recent changes to Canadian immigration policy highlight a government that is more focused on optics and political maneuvering than on implementing effective and meaningful reforms. The loopholes embedded within these policies suggest that they are designed to create the appearance of action rather than to deliver real results. Announcements may discourage only a fraction of people, but people abusing the system are much more proactive than discouragements. As Canada approaches the 2025 federal election, policymakers must move beyond superficial solutions and address the underlying issues that plague the immigration system. Stricter enforcement of LMIA regulations, closing loopholes that allow for exploitation, and implementing transparent and accountable policies are essential steps in this direction. Without such reforms, the Canadian government risks further eroding public trust in the immigration system and failing to meet the needs of both the Canadian labour market and the foreign nationals who contribute to the country's economy. The time for genuine, practical, and effective immigration reform is now. What is the target of Canadian immigration for temporary residents? To bring down the number of temporary residents to 5% of Canada's total population within 3 years, the government has committed to further measures. Its percentage was 6.8% in April, and the Bank of Canada stated that it anticipated a rise when it opened a new tab. While Canada's latest immigration policies represent a step forward in addressing the country's demographic and economic needs, the presence of these loopholes highlights the ongoing need for refinement and adjustment. As we continue to monitor the impact of these changes, applicants and policymakers alike need to stay informed and advocate for further improvements. By addressing these gaps, Canada can enhance its immigration system and ensure it meets the needs of all who seek to contribute to the nation's growth and diversity. That is all for today. In this video, what are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the entire video. Hopefully, the information is useful to you. See you later, in the next video. Till then, Take care.